Title: AITA for being upset because my son did not talk to me, but talked to my wife? Verdict: asshole. I am a 40-year-old man. My wife Dina is 39, and our son Idris is 15. This happened yesterday. It was around dinner time, and I called Idris to come downstairs. I called him a couple of times from the bottom of the stairs, but he did not answer. I figured maybe he had headphones on or just did not hear me, so I went upstairs and knocked on his bedroom door. He called back that he would be down in a few minutes. That seemed fine, so I went back to the kitchen and finished getting dinner ready. About 15 minutes went by, and he still had not come down. At that point, I was a little annoyed because the food was getting cold, and this is a recurring thing with him taking forever when we call him. I went back upstairs and knocked again. When he did not answer right away, I opened the door. I did knock first, but I still went in after a couple of seconds. He was sitting on his bed, clearly crying. His eyes were red, his face was blotchy, and he was trying to wipe his face like he did not want me to notice. I asked him what was wrong. I tried to keep my voice calm and not sound angry because I could see he was upset. He just shook his head and said, "Nothing, I am fine," but it was obvious he was not fine. I asked again, a little more gently, what was going on and if something had happened at school or with his friends. He still would not answer and just kept saying he was fine and that he would come down later. I did not want to push him too hard and make it worse, so I told him dinner was ready whenever he wanted it and went back downstairs. I told Dina that Idris was upstairs crying and that something was clearly wrong, but he would not talk to me. She immediately put down what she was doing and went upstairs. I could hear her knock on his door and go in, and then it was quiet. They were up there for about half an hour. During that time, I was in the kitchen, cleaning up and waiting. I will admit I was worried, but I was also expecting that when she came back down, we would talk about it and figure out how to help him together. After about 30 minutes, Dina came back downstairs with an empty plate, then fixed another plate and took it back up to him. That annoyed me a bit because we usually eat dinner together at the table, and I had already called him down. But I let it go in the moment because I assumed he must be really upset if she was bringing him food in his room. When she finally came back down for good, I asked her what was going on with Idris. I was concerned and wanted to know if something serious had happened. I asked if he was okay, if it was something at school, bullying, a breakup, anything like that. She just said he is fine. It is nothing important. Just drop it. That really bothered me. I told her I am his father too, and I have a right to know what is going on with my own son, especially if he is crying alone in his room and refusing to eat with us. I said that if it is serious, I want to help, and if it is not serious, then why could she not just tell me? She repeated that it was not a big deal and that Idris did not want me to know. She said I should respect his privacy and trust that she would tell me if it was something I needed to know. She also said that if he chose to open up to her and not to me, that was his choice, and forcing it would just push him further away. I felt hurt and left out. I am not trying to control everything, but it stung that my own son would not talk to me at all, then immediately open up to his mother, and that she would then shut me out of the conversation. It made me feel like the odd one out in my own family, like there was some secret being kept from me. Since then, I have not been completely ignoring them, but I have been acting distant. I answer when they talk to me, but I have been quieter than usual and keeping to myself. I know I am being colder, but I am upset. I feel like I am being treated as if I am not an equal parent. Today, Dina confronted me about it. She said I was acting extremely immature and that I was making the situation about my feelings instead of Idris. She said he is a teenager, he is allowed to have private conversations, and just because he chose to talk to her does not mean they are against me. She also said that my sulking is exactly the kind of behavior that makes Idris less likely to open up to me in the first place. From my perspective, I am not trying to punish anyone, I am just hurt and frustrated. I want to be involved in my son's life, especially when he is clearly upset. I do not think it is fair that I am completely kept in the dark and then called immature for having a reaction to that. On the other hand, I can see how it might look like I'm making it about myself instead of focusing on Idris' feelings. I am struggling to tell if my reaction is understandable or if I am actually being unreasonable. AITA for being upset that my son would not talk to me, but talk to my wife, and for acting distant afterward.